So, a lot of people ask me why I love traveling alone, whether it be for a month, 3 months, a weekend, a 4 hour road trip. Um, and I always think, well, why not? Like, I have a lot of fun. I don't understand how people can spend time alone. Um, but the thing is, I have the most growth when I embark on my mini adventures when I'm by myself. And I think a lot of it has to do with, not having to plan anything with anybody else, really just being in the moment of everything. I'm open, I'm meeting all kinds of different people. I have a lot of different scenarios happen. I really have to tap into that part of myself that needs to be resourceful. I'm already hyper aware and alert, but it just brings out another part of me. And one of the things that I learned, and I don't think anybody I know goes into self-observation more than I do, and I love it. Like, I take it not I take it a lot less seriously than I used to in the beginning, and I can have a really good laugh at myself. But hi, Mistache. I Growth for me is one of those things in my life that is a non-negotiable. I need to grow. I want to grow. I desire to grow. I have a strong desire to know myself more, love myself more, enjoy myself more. And I can do it with other people for sure. But there is something very magical for me about having these adventures on my own. And the first time that I traveled by myself was to Thailand. And the thing that I observed about myself during that trip was that I was a bit of a control freak. Like, I always had to I'm a Virgo. So I'm a little bit of a perfectionist by nature. And I like to be organized. I like to know what's going on. And I don't have time for all of this other like stuff. I just want to know what's going on, need to do what's going on, need to keep with my schedule, tell me what to do, tell me what's going on, I need to be organized. And when I first got to Thailand, everything was kind of rush, and I had set in my mind that I was going to do a dive certificate. And when I first landed in Thailand, it was 1 a.m. And I was trying very hard not to be controlling. Everybody had told me, it's Thailand, you can just find a hostel whenever you want. So I had really gone out of my comfort zone and not booked anything. And I only knew one thing, was that I was taking the train to a certain I needed to be by the train station because I wanted to get to an island so that I could do a dive certification. And I remember, so I get off the plane, it's 1 a.m. and I go into panic mode because I don't have a place to stay. And now not only do I not have a place to stay, but I don't want anybody else to know that I don't have a place to stay. So there I am in the bathroom with my Lonely Planet book, and I'm like, okay, where am I gonna stay? Where am I gonna stay? Come on, universe, come on, universe. And then I say to myself, I need to be close to a train station. So I'm going through my little Lonely Planet book. I look, oh yeah, Bangkok train station. This is where I'm going. I beeline out of the bathroom. No sooner than I'm outside, I bump into a couple from Australia, and they're also going somewhere in Bangkok, and they don't have a hostel either. So I propose that we share a taxi together, and I tell them where I'm going and we can get dropped off there. So that all works out perfectly fine. I go do my dive certification, and then I was moving to another part of the island after doing that. And my plan was to stay there for a couple of days. It was a full moon, and I love the full moon. I had heard about a lot of stories about full moon parties in Thailand. However, I wasn't quite ready to like be in that full out party mode that I had heard about. So I found a little island that was a little bit more tame where I could do my scuba diving and then go enjoy the full moon. So I get to the other side of the island, and this was the point in time where I was to relax. Finally, I'd done my dive certification. It had been like go 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 since I hit the tarmac, and I go to the beach, and I was sitting on the beach with a log behind my back, and I'm sitting there, and in the water in front of me there's this really big rock. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the rock, and all of a sudden I get this overwhelming feeling like I should be doing something. Like, I have a whole month here. I need to plan my shit. So I take out my Lonely Planet book and I start to look and like, okay, so where do I want to go after this? What do I want to do? And then all of a sudden it hits me. Again, right? It's my I call them come to Jesus moments, come to Buddha moments. It doesn't matter, whatever. But this little voice inside my head says, Celine, you don't need to be doing anything right now. Put the Lonely Planet book away. Who cares? Who cares what's going to happen tomorrow? Be present right now. You don't need to figure out the rest of your 4 weeks. And in that moment, I realized that I always had to be so rigid and scheduled. And I wasn't being present, and I wasn't reveling in the moment. And then I sat back, and keep in mind, like, by this time I'm already a yoga teacher. I'm already doing meditation, but I'm still, again, 5 minutes to learn, a lifetime to master. And so I sit back and I just take a deep breath. I relax. I put the Lonely Planet book down, and I start to stare at this rock, which was actually very calming. And it was one of the last times that I looked at my Lonely Planet book, or felt that I had to know where I was going to be at every single moment of this adventure. And that night, because the universe is, you gotta love the universe, because the universe is a joker, a big time joker. So that night, there was a bar, and the bars in Thailand are not like the bars, in America. Everything's on the beach. Everything's overlooking, the sunrise, and everything is overlooking the sunset and the moon, and so there was a little place next to my beach cabana called Poseidon, and I went there to see the full moon. And while I was there, I met 2 gentlemen, and one of them was from Germany, and it was his second time coming to this very place. And he told me the story of the first time that he came here, that he had come because he was on the verge of a nervous breakdown, and his work had sent him off to relax somewhere. And he said that he came back to this place because when he had his close to mini breakdown, he was sitting on the beach staring at this rock. And in that moment, he had felt this calm, serenity, and had just surrendered. This is my rock. And I was like, wow, that's like me. And then I met another gentleman who, this is, remember, contrast, universe loves contrast. And he had come from England and was a martial artist, kung fu guy. And he was the complete opposite of me and this other German guy at the time. This guy was like extremely chill, like super relaxed. You know, he was telling me that, oh, he had been here he's traveling for like a year now, and you know, he loved getting up early in the morning and doing his yoga, running the mountain. And in my head I'm thinking, a year? You've been doing this for a year? Like no schedule? Nothing? And he was like, yeah, he goes, I used to run the mountain to get some exercise, and then I met a yoga teacher who taught me how to do sun salutations. And I'm like, totally into the sun salutations. And do you want to come with me tomorrow morning and do sun salutations at sunrise? Yes, as a matter of fact, I do want to go with you tomorrow morning at sunrise and do sun salutations. It was so liberating to see how crazy my life had been being run by my controlling nature and my wanting to schedule every moment. And you know what? You can't schedule life. Just be open. Life is going to happen with or without your schedule. And when you're always on a schedule, you miss a lot of stuff. You miss so many opportunities because you're like this. I had a wise man once tell me, Celine, take the blinders off. And it's way more beautiful without the blinders.